What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know, my name is Justin Riker. I'm the head golf professional here at Magnolia Greens, and today I want to discuss what is in my golf bag. My golf bag is kind of unique because I'm on staff with Cobra and Puma as far as apparel and footwear go. But being on staff with Cobra, I have some loopholes that I get to change some stuff in and out. So I thought it'd be a great time to show you what is in my bag. So first up, we're going to start with the wedges. Being left-handed, sometimes my options are very limited, but since college I've changed a few different times to try stuff out, but I keep going back to Old Faithful. So I have Vokey wedges. I just recently switched over to the SM10s. I haven't done it in my 58 yet, but I just received it and probably will do so the next week. But as far as my lofts go, I go at 58 low bounce K. I like the little fatter sole, but I love the low bounce feel, so it gives me the best of both worlds. I can be a little steep and still get underneath the golf ball. And then I go, so I go 58, 54D, 12 degrees of bounce, and then 50 in the 12 degree full sole or F sole, whatever you want to call it, F grind. And then I do kind of something unique this year with my Cobra irons. I went with the CBMB iron split cavity set. And through some testing, I realized that I didn't really like them all, and I wanted to go back to my old irons. But I did keep the MB in the pitching wedge just because I felt like it blended well with my wedges. So that's staying in the bag for now, probably till next year when they come with something else. And then the next thing I have here is 2-year-old Cobra Forge Tech. I love the hollow body feel, and it's just an overall great golf club for me. Especially since I don't play very much, it gives me a good chance to recapture some of that distance I may have lost. Alright, so now on the topic of distance loss, or I don't play a lot, the reason why I went to the Forge Tech iron was because I don't get to practice as much. I'm not as good as I once was. I feel like that might be a Toby Keith song, so rest in peace to him. But I have changed up my set makeup. So my set makeup, for those of you that don't know what that is what your whole bag entitles from. So from driver all the way down to wedge, how the gapping process goes. And my hope is over the next few videos I could probably do a gapping session and kind of show you why I choose the clubs that I have, and the gapping is the way it is, so it helps me with my distance control in the golf course. So Forge Tech iron, I go all the way from the 9 iron all the way up to the 5 iron. As I stated before, the pitching wedge is in the MB set just so it blends in a little bit better with my Vokey wedges. So then we move into hybrid. I do have a Forge, I think it's Forge Tech or Forge King hybrid. I'm not 100% sure. It's about 3-4 years old. It's 19 degrees, turned up to about a degree and a half, so it plays more like my 4 iron. And before I get too far, I do have graphite shafts in all of my clubs with the exception of one. Do you know which one it is? I just showed it to you a little bit ago. So I do play the Mitsubishi MMT in all of my irons and wedges, all the way up through my hybrid. So I play a 105 TX as far as the stiffness goes in my irons. In my wedges, I move to the 125 TX wedge flex. And then in my hybrid, I go to a little bit softer just to help with a little bit more of the distance, or the height of it. I go to an 80 gram stiff. I believe it is tipped half an inch, so it's a little bit stiffer than stiff. Then let's move on to the fairway woods. Alright, so now moving on to the fairway woods. This is the first year that I can remember, and I think that Cobra has done this with their low spin fairway woods, is put a little bit of titanium in the faces, so it makes them a little bit hotter, but yet doesn't sacrifice all that spin, so the ball actually can fly just as far as we need it to, or as far as I need it to do, but it flies a little bit further than the previous generations. That was always my complaint with Cobra the last, 6-7 years that I've been on staff with them, is they look good, they feel good, they just don't go anywhere, and it was really kind of screwing up my gapping. So this year I was really thrilled to see the low spin titanium model come out. So I'd play a 5 wood, which is 17.5 degree, and a 3 wood at 14.5, both in standard loft settings, with the UST Link blue, I think it is 7F4, which is 70 gram, and a stiff. It is tipped a half inch, so like I stated in the hybrid, it plays just a little bit stiffer than normal stiff. So not quite at extra stiff, but not quite at stiff. It's kind of in between. It's kind of like a stiff plus. This is, we're maybe 4 months into having these, and I really do like these a lot. They've definitely helped my game, especially not so much reaching, par 5s and 2s, but more of just getting off the tee, any trouble shots or anything like that. Now let's move into the driver. This is my baby. I have changed shafts probably twice in this until I got comfortable with it, and I've changed heads 3 different times. One to a completely different model in the Cobra dark speed, and then when I switched over to this one, I switched lofts as far as what degree I went to. So the first one I started off with was just a regular dark speed. I think it's X. It's just their normal, most forgiving driver with really only one weight in the back. But then I moved to the LS dark speed. Started in a 9, wasn't getting the height and the spin that I wanted, so then I moved over to a 10. Was doing better, but I was still losing some shots to the right, so I tried a couple different shafts. I've tried graphite design, a couple different models in that, and then I went and actually saw one of my fitters, and they suggested that I go into this Project X Hazardous 6.0 60 gram tipped half-inch again, and this thing is light enough, but I can feel the head, and when I do hit it, I hit it pretty far and pretty accurate. But sometimes it doesn't always work out like that. But this has been a great club for me this year. I wasn't impressed with last year's stuff, so I kept on. I always like to hold on to previous generations just to compare it to see if I actually want to change and if I need to change. Sometimes, when you go through a fitting, just because it's the best, it's the greatest for this year, doesn't mean it's the best for you. Sometimes Old Faithful that you've had for 2-3 years might still just compete just as well. But yeah, so it takes a lot to get stuff out of my bag. So that's the driver. All right, before we move on to the putter, I wanted to go over my grip that I use on all of my full length clubs. So all my driver, my woods, irons, wedges, so on and so forth. I use a Ionic grip. It's from Japan. I believe this is the 1.8 version. So they're standard, or maybe it's a little bit smaller than standard. I like it because we're in the South here. It's humid, especially here in Wilmington, North Carolina. I feel like every day for the last month since I've gotten back from vacation, it's rained, it's humid, and they stay really tacky, sticky, whatever you want to call it. They're easy to clean. They're pretty durable for the most part. They are expensive, but they're worth every single dime. So yeah, that's the grip I play. I do play a couple like standard Tour Velvets from Golf Pride on my woods and my wedge, but those are fixing to get changed at some point. I've just been too lazy and haven't done it. So now let's move on to the putter. I played about, I think, 3 different putters this year so far, and I've finally landed on this one. And this is one that I've put a lot of time and effort into this one, and I'm very proud of it. So the first model I played with was a Cobra. I think it was not the current model, but the 2 or 3 years ago model. I think it was Algera. I converted it into a counterbalance, put it pretty good with it. I love the descending loft technology on it, but I felt like there was something more. So staying on that counterbalance putter kind of scheme, I went to the Jailbird from the AI Cruiser, Jailbird, whatever you want to call it, from Odyssey. That was great. I felt like I was doing pretty good with that, but I felt like I was still missing something. So after I took this awesome Top Gun Maverick head cover off from the Buck Club, pretty cool. I got the Goose one as well. I'm going to go over this putter. So this is a Lab Mez 1. It is standard length, no longer in counterbalance. So it took me a little bit to get used to going back down to standard. I believe it's 68 or 69 degree lie angle, 34 inches long, and it took me a little bit to get used to it, but once I did, the ball, I feel like, stays on the ground better as far as when I take my stroke and I hit the ball. Usually putts are supposed to kind of skid or kind of hop up in the air and then skid. This one seems to hug the ground a whole lot faster. It does have some grooves on it, so staying with the groove technology that I had when I was in Cobra really definitely helps for sure. But this has given me so much more confidence inside 10 feet, and that's where I feel like I've improved the most, and my scores are finally starting to kind of drop with that. But once again, going with the graphite theme, graphite in the putter. So there's only one shaft in my whole bag that is still a steel shaft. Have any ideas of what it is? I may let you know at the end of it. But that's my putter. I love it. Like I said, I do change that one a lot. That's kind of like the one I joke with everyone, every day you got to change your underwear. Justin sometimes thinks that he needs to change his putter every single day. Right now, for the last couple months, it's been the same putter, so we're doing pretty good. So next we're going to go to rangefinder. I have an older Bushnell Pro XE, really reliable. And then let's go to golf ball. So I started the year hitting, playing with Callaway, the new Chrome Tour ball, Chrome Tour X to be specific on it. I do play a yellow ball, and it's not because, oh, I can't see it out there, which is sometimes the case when you're playing out here in North Carolina. Sometimes you lose it, but most of the time it is because nobody else plays a yellow golf ball, and it's easier for me to find in the fairway. So, but back up a couple months, I did a fitting with the Titleist ball rep, and I went through the whole line of golf balls: Pro V1X, Pro V1, left dash, left dot, AVX, and hit a lot of golf balls. And I found out that I need to play a little bit spinnier golf ball to help the ball stay in the air longer, keep the distance. So I landed on Titleist Pro V1X. I do have my initials and my wife's initials and the date that we actually got married on, which is our dating anniversary. So that's, don't do anything special. Sometimes I put some lines on here, but usually one black dot, and that's about it, because like I said, we're a yellow golf ball. As far as tees, whatever is available on the first tee is usually what I take, or if I find it on the ground, I put it in my pocket, put it in the bag. For glove, I do wear Titleist. This is the player's glove. It's an all leather glove. So summertime it's not great, wintertime it's amazing. Summertime it just gets hot and it gets sticky, and it's a little bit harder to pull on, but for the most part it's a pretty good glove. So yeah, that's what I got in the bag for this year. Training aid here that I use to warm up and whatnot is the Orange Whip. I love this thing. I spend about 5 minutes warming up with it every single time before I hit my wedges. And then the only other thing I have in here would be my alignment sticks, but they're just a normal alignment stick, nothing special. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. Comment if you would. Tell me what you'd like to see next. And hopefully the next one is just as enjoyable as this one. See you. So here is a couple of bag tags that I have. This is from my last vacation. I was lucky enough to go to Maui with my wife and her part of her family. Got to play plantation course. That was a pretty cool experience. And then I got my Degenerate Masters. It's a local tournament here in town. Been playing the last couple years in it. It's for a good cause. Great atmosphere, great friends all doing it. So here's the club that I said that I have one steel shaft in it. On my wedges, it's the 58 low bounce K. Even in the new one, we stayed the same way. I do have some custom ferrules by BB&F Co. Put on by my guys at Loggerhead, DJ, and Justice. Mainly DJ. They do some great work over there. Don't ask me for any more specs because I don't know. I know everyone else's specs, or I can tell you what shafts are, but I don't even know my own stuff. I refuse to know. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and we'll catch you in the next one.